Broadcasting live from Houston, Texas, and around the world. TV host, best-selling author, and radio personality Brad Gilmore brings you a collection of conversations with stars from movies.
Matthew McConaughey.
Brad Gilmore.
Mark Wahlberg.
Hey, how are you?
The one and only Sydney Sweeney joins us. Sydney, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Tom Hanks and Robin Wright in my favorite movie of the year. Guys, thanks so much for joining the show.
Oh, thank you.
Well, thank you. Jessica Alba and Lizzie Mathis. Ladies, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
Kevin Costner joins us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Television.
Jimmy Fallon joins us this morning. Jimmy, how you doing, my friend?
Good morning. Thank you so much, Brad, for having me. I appreciate this, bud.
One of my all-time favorites, Vince Vaughn, joins us right now. Vince, thanks, man.
Oh, great to be with you, Brad, and great to be talking to Houston. Good morning to you.
We got Owen Wilson. We got Judy Greer. Thanks for joining the show, guys.
Thank you.
Jay Leno joins us. Jay, how you doing?
Hey, Brad, what's going on?
We got Anna Sawai joining the show. Anna, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, Brad.
Music.
Lola Monroe.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
The legendary frontman of AC/DC, Brian Johnson, joins us right now. Brian, how you doing?
Good morning, Brad. What looking to talk to me funny, lad.
Megan Trainor.
Thank you so much, Brad. You're awesome.
Paris Hilton, the infinite icon herself, is on the show. Paris, love the film.
Thank you. I'm so proud of it.
And more. This is The Collection. Now your host, The Boat.
Brad Gilmore!
All right. Well, hey, I appreciate you taking the time. We'll go ahead and get started because I really enjoyed this movie, man. So congratulations on it.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Well, you know what? When I was watching it, one of the things that I like about it, and look, I'm a genre guy, but what I liked about this is like it didn't fit into one particular genre per se. Like there's a heist element, there's thriller aspects to it, there's a little bit of mystery that's going on there. Was that somewhat of your attraction to this role?
Yeah. I mean, David Mackenzie, the director, is someone I worked with before. We did Outlaw King together. And so I kind of know, and listen, I love the movies he makes, Hell or High Water, Starred Up, you know. He's someone that also doesn't stay in one genre. Like he's someone who is exploring, you know, through different kind of, you know, genres. And I think that's exciting. He brought me this script that he'd been working on for like, you know, him and his writer, but over 15 years, this sort of high concept of World War II bomb in the center of London. And is it, you know, it may or may not be a part of a decoy for this, you know, bank robbery. And then it starts off a cat and mouse chase. And I think when I read it, it was just fast paced moving and it was super exciting. It was original. It wasn't based on any IP. It had these characters that needed to we needed to dive in on some research. I know that's what he likes to do. We had this amazing EOD specialist who I work with, who basically was like, this is a very, you know, even though we were like, this is kind of crazy, right? He's like, this is very plausible. He's like, we're like, what? They're like, yeah, we find World War II bombs all the time. You know, obviously we have to go and extract them. There is a process. This might happen. So yeah, it could totally happen that then in this evacuation zone, something else could be going on that, you know, could be cause for concern. So it was like, that was kind of, you know, music to Mackenzie's ears because he loves detail and authenticity. And then we went to do some like, you know, some training with the military guys of how to like disarm IEDs and play around with explosives and learn how to do all this stuff. So, which was a great day out. You know, it kind of came together like that. You know, I shot my stuff in 14 days. It was very quick. You know, it's an independent movie made in London. It's got all of that kind of feel to it. It's got kind of grit and edge to it, like in a David Mackenzie way. But yeah, the process of working with him is like, he just lets you there's an improvisational freedom that he just sort of lets you go. And the camera's a bit of a fly on the wall and you get to sort of soak in the atmosphere of it, and that's his sort of style, and it pushes you to be outside of your comfort zone, and it's just a different kind of process. So I like being around it, you know.
Well, yeah, I mean, and I guess too, when you have worked with them before, you develop almost a trust and a bond with each other. Like, hey, you've seen what I can do, I've seen what you can do. Let me kind of cook a little bit. I was just watching this thing with Scorsese, a documentary about him and De Niro, and how he would just kind of let De Niro go, just go, do whatever you want to do. Like, I'll tell you when to stop, but kind of feel free to find that character. And I'm sure sometimes you find some actual, real, pure moments that couldn't otherwise be scripted.
I mean, Brad, you kind of nailed it. I mean, I look at like the relationships that like Scorsese and De Niro had, and what Leo has with him too. And I think, I admire that. It's that sort of thing that an actor-director relationship, if you can go beyond 2, you go 3, 4 movies, then you start to go, wow, what is it that they bring to it that is exploring and discovery? And I think there's a sort of a trust that they can. It's those happy accidents that might happen, or you're just willing to make a fool out of yourself and make mistakes. And in some of those takes, you found something, and I think that's kind of the fun in it, really, for sure.
So, are you able to go to him even like maybe with an idea, like, hey, I'm prepping for this scene last night, and I had this moment, I had this thought, I had this beat that came to mind, and do y'all have a conversation about that?
No, absolutely, yeah. I mean, there was a lot we talked about. There's some stuff that we filmed that didn't even make it in the movie because it was worth doing, right? Some things, you have to, especially because this isn't a part of an IP, it's an original piece, right? So there was room to kind of like really push. Well, you kind of, with a character, you always want to try. You don't want it to be 2-dimensional. You want to give it multiple layers and thoughts behind it. And so we just kind of pushed that as much as we could, and then in the edit, it comes down to like what Mackenzie wanted to put in the cinemas, and I think he wanted something that was very fast-paced, moving, and it had twists and turns, and so we couldn't really slow down enough to give any more sort of backstory to these characters, which we did shoot. Gugu had some, I had some other scenes with outside. But actually, in the end, he just like, I want to be in this world. I want to be in this world, and I want to stay in it, and I want to keep it moving. And I think that's a choice, and that's great because he's, at the end of the day, I'm here to facilitate the director's vision, and it, like you said, it's one that I trust, and that's that's why I like working with directors who know what they want to do.
Well, I was going to ask, and I didn't mean to cut you off there, but what I was going to ask is, because you mentioned the originality of the story a few times, and I would like to think sometimes as an actor, not walking into something that already has a preconception from the audience, right? Like you'll find yourselves in big IPs or whatever as an actor, but to be able to have that freedom of no one knows this character, no one knows anything about this story or this character, so it has a sense of freedom, or I think, or an element of freedom to it.
Yeah, but I think you also feel like, I mean, I always feel like there's sort of a deeper responsibility to that as well, because it's an opportunity and a chance to like bring something to life, but especially someone who's like a character that's like, not everybody knows a lot about like certain military roles, but EOD specialists, and things like that is, so you want to give, I always want to give more of a domestic sort of like, I want to throw something else in there, to sort of counterbalance a lot of this sort of what I'm putting on a show of bravado of this and this and that, but behind it, there's a lot of vulnerability, there's a lot of insecurity, something else is going on underneath the surface, and how can I explore that, or, what other relationships are going on that he's going to have to cut off in the meantime. So I'm trying to balance things like that, but but sometimes it's like we're not trying to also reinvent. When you can't get too far out of the genre of the fact that it's an entertaining heist movie. But I always come from like a different place of like I want to find. I'm always got empathy to find on this. But it gives you an opportunity to be a bit more playful in terms of like, people go, well, I read that book and that's not who the character was. Right. So who cares? There's a bit of a creative, you got a bit of leeway there, I guess. That's a bit exciting.
Especially with tension of this character that you particularly have, even when going through like the I don't know what the technical term would be, but the trying to defuse the bomb or what have you. So much of it has to be nonverbal, right? I mean, when you're going through it, there's a lot of nonverbal signals that I'm seeing in your face, almost as if I'm reading your character's mind and not listening to the spoken word.
Yeah, I think that was kind of funny because when we get into, this should have so much tension and stuff, and obviously the challenge for us was that, what originally was on the script, was sort of all these sort of technical things, and it was like, and it kind of gave a sense of like stakes and danger. And then, EOD specialists go, well, actually, you wouldn't use this, this, and this. You just go like that, and then you listen to it and go, okay, that's ticking. So there you go. And you go, and then we go, okay, how the hell do we tell like the levels of stakes in that? And so we really had to work in ways of being able to play in and lean into the reality of it, right? And there's a way of doing it. Why this movie came about was a huge inspiration from Hurt Locker. That's why Mackenzie started this, right? And I think, as a beautiful movie, great movie, and Jeremy Renner like has that exact thing, and yet it comes down to a clip of a wire and this. Yet when he does it, and when you're in it, that it's you're feeling every bead of sweat on him, right? I mean, that's the master over there. You know what I'm saying? So, but so we've got. It's this sort of same sort of suspense and tension, yet there's something else. There are other layers to it that's going on that you find out throughout the movie. So it's a challenge to say the least, but.
Well, you know what? It was a challenge, but y'all pulled it off. Yeah, I really enjoyed watching the film. Your performance was great. I really appreciate your time, your conversation, and a beautiful timepiece that you're wearing. I just have to shout out your watch. It's gorgeous. But Aaron, I really appreciate it, man. Congrats on the film.
Thanks, Brad. I appreciate you, man. Take care. Thanks.
All right, have a good one. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Brad. That was great.
Thank you.